the beneficiary. However, this person suing may get a big fat judgment against the trust. Now, does that mean that they can collect that judgment? Can they collect that judgment? Absolutely. Absolutely. They got a big fat judgment against the trust. And inside the trust is a free and clear $200,000 house. Can they go after that? Absolutely. Can they collect on that? Absolutely. So what if we could use our friend, the personal property trust, to put a loan against the land trust? So, United Fidelity Lending Trust loans, say, 200 grand to the Children with Special Needs Trust. Are you with me so far? Okay. So, now the property is fully encumbered, isn't it? Nobody owns that property. The trust owns the property. Trust owned a free and clear property until it borrowed 200 grand from another trust. In paper only. Then the lien of the mortgage from the United Fidelity Trust goes against the land trust. Oh yeah, it'll be recorded. So what happens is that anybody who sues the land trust, they might do a little title search on that, and they might find that there's no equity. Now, how many of you believe they're not going to pursue a lawsuit on that one? Right? Like, oh, wow. Are you liking this? Is this a beautiful thing? This is a beautiful thing.
Is that money trail? Because if you did a loan, some of the money would have to go into the trust.
You can do that. You can do that. So you could even borrow money from Pritam for a day and do the whole thing, cash checks, deposit checks, all the way around. Give him his money back. So the trust did have the money that day, right? 200 grand, did, loan it here. This trust deposited the check. Then it had to write a check back to the trust. But there's a lien against the property now. So, you see, what I'm really illustrating to you here, and we can't cover everything today, the idea is that the trust can provide you far more benefits than simple privacy. They give you so much more because you were smart enough to learn it. Knowledge is what? Power and money. Nobody knows what nobody knows. And I promise you, 99.9% of the population out there don't know this. So this is highly specialized, unique information, only usable by those that know. You don't know, you don't know. So you don't even recommend or think about it. Yes, sir.
My name's Carl. If you did the financial thing with the Fidelity after the judge's decision, won't that get you in trouble?
You do it before, you do it now.
Yeah, you do it before.
Yeah, you do it now.
Okay.
You do it now when you're creating the trust. Absolutely.
Okay.
What? Intellectuals solve problems, geniuses prevent them.
Yeah.
So you plan in advance for that possibility, and I better do this right now before I have a problem later. And by showing you the headlines, I'm showing you we just don't know when it's going to happen. You notice I didn't say if. The odds are in your lifetime you're going to get sued. That's the odds. Sorry. So I just don't know how much that lawsuit is worth. And I don't know how much is at risk that day. So let's not have anything at risk. How about that program? Make a lot of sense? Yes. Oh, you know what? Why am I taking questions? Stop. I'm going to have a Q&A session. If you would, please write it down. And I'm going to do all that stuff so I have enough time to get through this. All right. How many of you can tell I love to teach? I love to teach. So I'll be teaching away, run out of time. All right. So difficult to collect judgments and liens. So someone, if they were to get a judgment against you personally and you don't own anything, is it difficult to collect? Yes. That's a good place to be, isn't it? How many of you in here own real estate? Isn't that fascinating? How many of you own real estate in your name? Wow. Wow. Think about it. Think about how easy it is for someone to sit in the comfort of their own home, in fact, type in your name or your address and find out who the owner is.
Doing the paperwork tonight.
You're doing the paperwork tonight. Berta is a brilliant woman. In fact, Steve and Berta came in the door buying the system. So we're on our way. We don't want any to disappear here. We want to get our system down and make sure we've got it. That's a brilliant plan. Thank you. All right, so the more properties you have, you're simply going to duplicate it. And you're going to do it again, whether it's a subdivision or whether it's individual land. And we're going to do it again. And then we're going to transfer our relationship with our tenants, because there is a letter in here that you're going to send to the tenants that you currently have. How many of you have tenants that know that you're the owner of the property? Isn't that fascinating? And you thought that was a good idea, but it's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. Let's just get that clear. Your role in life, out in the world, outside this room, needs to be that of a what? Manager. Manager. So how are you to become the manager of this trust? There is a management agreement in here. The trustee of the trust is going to hire you as the manager. Hire you. You've got duties, you've got responsibilities. You're going to collect the rent. You're going to deposit the rent. You're going to write checks. Repairs, so therefore contractors, mortgage payments, insurance payments, everything related to that property, you're going to write the checks. Just like a manager would do. Then the leftover money goes to the beneficiary. Whomever the beneficiary is. If it's you, it's yours. If it's an LLC, then you write a check to the LLC and it deposits its money into its bank account. So now I've removed you from ownership of your property, and I've removed you from the tenants knowing that you're the owner of the property. Is that a good plan? Absolutely. Now, you're going to send them you're going to send them a letter now. It's in here. The letter says, I no longer own the property because of people like you. This is a much more serious crowd than the other night. No, it doesn't say that. It says, I no longer own the property, however, I'm going to remain on as the manager for an indefinite period of time. The new owners have some new paperwork they want me to go over with you. Now, if you see what I've been teaching you today, in could walk the move-in fee. In could walk pet fees, pet rent, extra person rent, and all kinds of other profit centers. How many of you love that plan? So in other words, we can reset the relationship with our tenants because we do not own the property anymore, and the new owners have some new paperwork they want me to go over with you. And if they don't resist, then they sign the new paperwork, and you have a whole new setup with those tenants. Good plan? They could resist. If they do, they're right. There's already an existing lease on the property. But most people don't know that. And most people don't know that. Most people think when the property's sold, the lease is over. And they have to sign a new lease with the new owner. That's what they think. They don't have to. Am I setting you up for success? Now I want to be clear about something right now. I'm teaching you this to put you in a position to avoid thieves. People who are out to get you and out to take your stuff. But I'm not teaching you this for you to use this for bad purposes. Because it could be. I mean, basically this shields a criminal from criminal activity. I don't want you to do that. The universe will serve you. If you do good business will be done. So keep that in mind. This is only for the good. This is only to help you avoid bad players out there in the world. Good plan? Good plan. Okay? Yeah, baby, that's right. Okay. So now that we've reestablished and established a new relationship with our tenant, now that we've established that new relationship, now we're going to have the rents paid to us as agent.
Is that what the check says? As agent?
That's what the check says. You as agent. Not an LLC, not a corporation, not a limited partnership. You as agent. Who are you the agent for? The trust, right? The trust. That was easy. So you're the agent for the trust that owns the property. So you, as agent, are going to deposit the money, not in your personal bank account, not in the LLC's bank account. Even though the LLC may be the beneficiary, we don't want the tenants to know that, right? So where you deposit the money tips them off as to who owns the property, wouldn't you think? If you're the manager, you're going to deposit it into a management account. And all the bills are going to be written out of this management account. So now we have to create a bank account in the name of the trust. The money goes in, the money comes out. It's either after the bills are paid, then it goes to the LLC or corporation or limited partnership that may be the beneficiary of the trust. And in fact, you can even have a final beneficiary of a living trust, and multiple assets and multiple beneficial shares can go to this single trust, this living trust. Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
So how many of you have a living trust? You still get to use it. We're just going to make it the beneficiary of the land trust. Because the problem with the living trust is it's usually your name, living trust. Or your family name, living trust. Does anybody see a problem with that? You just blew all your privacy, didn't you? You blew the whole deal. So we've got an opportunity to do something different. So it works for flippers too. Whether it's flippers or keepers, we do the same thing. Flipper properties, keeper properties, other income. So the flipper, other income, deposits to the bank account. The rents paid to you as agent, deposits to the bank account. The LLC or corporation that you may already have could be the beneficiary of the land trust. Of the personal property trust. If you don't have one, you don't necessarily need one. It just depends where you are on the paranoia scale. The LLC shares can be held by the final living trust. Again, the money comes out of the bank account and pays to the beneficiary, whomever the beneficiary is. So if there is no LLC or corporation, then you are the beneficiary and you get the money. Now the good news is, if it's your money and you are the trustee of the bank account and you are the one writing the checks, then it's your money, isn't it? So as your money, then you get to deposit, you get to just leave the money there. You just leave it there. Just leave it there. Just leave it there and write checks for your own personal needs. So it's your bank account to do with as you please. You received the checks in your name as agent. You take those checks and you deposit them into you as trustee's bank account. How many of you like that plan? It's a beautiful thing. Now, what we just did is create that opportunity